Did you know poor digestion blocks your weight loss, especially as a woman over 50? There are so many downstream problems of dysfunctional digestion that you don't even know where to start. And that's why we want to test, not guess, about what is going wrong with your gut and what is going wrong with your immune system. So let me mention a few things that you might be having symptoms on, and then we're just going to dive deep into this. And I'm going to pull all this out of my brain because I didn't write down most of it. But basically, I want to tell you more about why you need, excuse me, to focus on digestion. And just a sip. We'll see if anybody else is coming in. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited. I almost didn't come on. I was going to wait till tomorrow. Thank you, Sissy. I am doing a deep dive right now on 12 diagnostic labs for 2 of my clients who needed to find their hidden healing opportunities, which are the weight loss blocks. And so as I've been going over these labs, I have been thinking about poor digestion and digestive dysfunction. And everything that I'm finding on these labs is so powerful because it's all about, hello, Lomi. I'm not sure how to say your name, Lomi. Anyways, what I have found on these labs is so much good information to help both of these clients because it is everything. Digestion is everything. If your digestion is off, your machinery is not working. Let me say that again. If your digestion is off, your body is not going to work the way you want it to. You will not, hi Valerie, you will not get the weight loss you want. And you could be stalled for 5 years, like one of my clients. You could do everything you think you're doing with your diet, eating a low carb diet, and trying to fix your weight loss because you're doing what you think you need to do. You're fixing your diet. You're taking out the sugar. You're eating a low insulinic diet, which is all what we need to do. But that's just one phase. That is one part of this equation. And I want to kind of put it out here in simple terms of things that for you to think about as like, let's test, not guess about what's going on in your body, and especially with digestion, because do you have like bloating, gas, Gerd, feel like you've got, maybe you have to lay down after you eat, you can't eat late at night, or maybe you can only eat small meals, you know you're not digesting your food, you feel hungry, even eating, and you could still feel hungry, there could be tired, oh my gosh, there's so many symptoms. It's basically you could have 400 or 500 symptoms going on in your body because I run these metabolic analysis, and anywhere from 300 to 500 symptomologies are happening, the chaos inside your body because of the breakdown. And it starts with digestion. And you would think all you need to do is chew your food, but then people don't chew slowly. We are chewing in a stressed state. And then the other side of this is, are we digesting this food that we're putting in our body? You could even think about, does your food have chemicals, toxins that are getting inside your body causing more problems? But basically, let's look at when we digest our food. I don't know why I have a cough, but I do. I just had a hamburger with some mayonnaise. So I had 30 pounds of ground beef. Not 30 pounds, I'm so sorry. No, I cannot eat that much all at once. 30 grams of ground beef patty with some avocado mayo. So that might have set off my mucus. So I just ate, which is why I've got a little mucus. I took some Mulin. I'm not sure why, but part of taking care of your health and looking at health as a hobby is to think about why, when we have symptoms, what we can do about it, and is our digestion off, and what we can do about that. But when you actually fix your digestion and you get everything focused on, then you're able to pay attention to your body when it tells you something, and maybe you might need a little digestive enzyme, or you might need a little Mulin to help things move along. I took a little tiny bit of eucalyptus radiata with some olive oil to help with digestion, and those are all some things that we could always do. We always want to look at our body as being a medicine chest and how we can support this medicine chest inside our body, and what are the nutrients and the foods that might help with what we need to do. So let's get back to digestion. I told you all of this is coming out of my head. I didn't write very much of it down. So I appreciate you being here, because I just wanted to get this all out to tell you that digestion is everything. And when you test to figure out what's going on, this is what we can discover. And this is what I wanted to get to, because there's so many symptoms, and you could have all of those symptoms, but why are they being caused and what's going on? And it is about digestion, but it's also on the other end of that. And because of the digestion is the absorption of the foods you're eating. Are you actually absorbing what you're eating? Are you actually digesting the food that you're eating? And are you getting the nutrients from your food? So that all starts with chewing, and then it starts with stomach acid, and then your gallbladder has to excrete bile. So if you're eating a low-calorie diet and not getting the right amount of salt, not getting the right amount of protein. I've heard one doctor say, go schedule your gallbladder surgery, because when you cut your calories and you cut your fat too low and you cut your protein too low, your gallbladder gets stagnated and it can stop working, and you might have more inflammation because of that. So the more processed food you have, the more your gallbladder breaks down, and those are some big problems downstream. Now, I've even, the 2 clients that I'm working with currently, and the 12 labs that I'm analyzing, I have just so much information, and it's so powerful because both are digestive dysfunctional, and this is across the board all the time. And once we get your digestion fixed, so many things are smoothed out down the line. So again, stomach acid, digest your food. And that means you need to be able to digest your protein and be able to digest your fat. And so if it's not, you're going to have liver dysfunction. And if you're eating the South American diet, is also going to give you fatty liver disease. And so part of healing the body from that standard American diet, one of the things we have to do is get rid of the fatty liver. And fatty liver isn't caused from eating too much fat in the diet. It's caused from eating too much sugar in the diet. And so we want to lower the sugar. That's why we get on a low carb method. That's why my holistic low carb method works so well. But it also is because it incorporates 5 diagnostic labs for you to take, so that we could look under the hood, discover what's going on in your body, so that we can address it directly, specifically as to what's going on in your body. And most of my clients have H. pylori. If you haven't seen or heard about this stomach bacteria, 50% of the world's population have it, a little bit less here than in third world countries, but most of the people who have a digestive dysfunction are coming down with H. pylori. And then that, you might even, because of that, what H. pylori does is it buries itself into your stomach, and it lowers your stomach acid. So you can no longer digest your minerals. You're no longer able to create B12. Your glutathione levels drop. So that means your detoxification drops down. So some people will have more of that problem than others, but almost always B12 is deficient. And when that happens, you end up with more, you have a bacteria in your mouth called streptococcus, and you swallow that, and your stomach acid is supposed to actually kill that bacteria. But when you have H. pylori and low stomach acid, what happens is that bacteria gets into your gut, causing havoc down there, and then you have a higher count of streptococcus showing in a stool test. And so I run the GI map test to check for all this digestive dysfunction, but it also helps me test for dysbiosis, leaky gut, and it'll show whether you've got the pancreatic insufficiency, if you're digesting your fat and your protein, and then also what type of bacteria you're showing. Do you have too many of the bad bacteria, or do you have a good skinny bacteria? What's your Akkermansia doing? Because your Akkermansia is one of those commensal bacteria that you need to have to help create a good mucin layer in your gut. And if he's not there, you're in trouble. And we need to make sure he's balanced. But but they all kind of work together. And so we want to balance our bacteria, but we want to know what's going on so that we can correct it. And so if you have the H. pylori and you have low stomach acid, and then you're not digesting your food, then those particles are getting into your small intestine and creating SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, causing havoc there. And you may end up not being able to digest other vegetables because that can cause havoc. Like it's supposed to be in your small intestine, it is supposed to be more sterile. And so now you have all of this overgrowth going on, and you've got all this bacteria up there that's not supposed to be there, and that's causing havoc. And so a lot of people end up not being able to digest vegetables well, or even things like erythritol, because they have this problem in the gut, and that will straighten out over time with a low carb method, because that's part of cleaning up the gut. So when you change to a low carb diet, you're working on diet, but when you come into my program and do the holistic low carb method, it incorporates the labs and all the findings that I find, and I help you put back your body back together again like Humpty Dumpty. So we're going to patch up all the cracks and fix you up and put your vitality back together and get you back into homeostasis as best as your body can get. And so it starts with digestion. We have to make sure you don't have H. pylori. If you got that H. pylori, we got to get rid of it. And we got to get your body digesting. So if you've got fat malabsorption, and both clients are having fat malabsorption, it's crazy how much this comes in. And I must have had it myself too, because I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. So let's go on with this. But when you've got that fat malabsorption and you're not absorbing your protein, you're not absorbing your nutrients, you're not getting your amino acids, you could have brain dysfunction. You can have more neurological conditions and depression because you're not absorbing the food you need. And then, with all of this going on and the leaky gut, you're creating food sensitivities. And then when you're getting the food sensitivities, you could have histamine reactions to things as well, because your gut's just not functioning. You get an enzyme in your gut called DAO, and it helps to break down the histamine in your body. When you have more gut inflammation, this isn't working very well, and you could have high levels of histamine intolerance. And so if you find yourself flushing after eating food, if you find yourself reacting to eating those processed foods specifically, and or fermented foods, that could be a problem. I've had a client that was sensitive to had a histamine reaction, sensitive to tyramine, sensitive to more fermented foods, and she would react to apple cider vinegar. So she had to take that out of her diet. It's a healthy food, but we don't always know it's exactly healthy for each body until we run a food sensitivity test. And so that's why I don't run one test. I run the 3 main tests, which is your gut, your hormones, and your food sensitivity. Those 3 are the big ones. And then I run more of a permeability. I'm going to run a metabolic panel that's going to show us what your total bile acids are showing. So is it showing elevated and you're not absorbing that? Or is it showing that you don't have hardly any bile acid at all and you're not absorbing any of your fat? That could be super awful, because I'm seeing that in a test, and like all of a sudden it's like this is a huge weight loss block. If you have low total bile acids, your bile is not even working and getting into your intestinal tract. You're not absorbing your fat. You're not breaking down anything because you don't have any bile acids. That's a big weight loss block discovered. And so these are some things where you could get your diet dialed in, but you didn't know that you had H. pylori in your gut. You didn't know that you aren't digesting your food. You didn't know that you're not digesting your fat and that you're not digesting your protein. And all of the downstream problems because of this is huge. Brain dysfunction. You could have all of that along with mineral imbalances. And I run an HTMA for mineral imbalances too. So when we could see, if your selenium's low, your chromium's low, that across the board, even for myself, those are low. So we need to supplement. You're not getting these nutrients in your food anymore. If you're relying on vegetable produce, especially non-organic vegetable produce, to give you the nutrients your body needs, you're not going to get them. You would have to eat too much. And so that's why we need the fat to be digested and the protein to be digested so that we can get these nutrients from the protein. And if we don't have enough, we might need to supplement. And so that's why I run a metabolic analysis. That's why I check for your food sensitivity, so we could take out the interferences, so we could get your body to heal the leaky gut and start reducing histamine reaction and actually start absorbing some of your food. But if you don't have digestive support and you're not breaking down the fat and the protein, nothing of what you're going to take, those supplements that you've been taking and the food that you've been eating, is you're wasting your money. And so you're losing money at that point. And so this is somewhere where I could come into the rescue and help you patch this system back up again, because that is what FDN is really good at, and functional nutrition is very good at, because I marry these two things together with my lived experience and all my education so that we could discover all of this and put you together a targeted supplement protocol as well as a lifestyle protocol so that we can actually get all of this taken care of. I'm actually going to be going over all of the next 4 to 5 sessions that I'm having on a weekly for an hour and a half. And you get a lot of time with me, an hour and a half sessions to go over each of the tests that I ran so I could do the deep dive with my clients so they could fully understand what they were doing. Do you know that by the time you finish with me in 6 months, you were totally empowered, educated, and lived with me for 6 months, that you understand what you need to do for your body so that you can correct it ongoing and continue to lose the weight. I am here to help you jumpstart your weight loss. That's why I say you can lose 20 pounds. But we have to get your body healthy to lose the weight. And if your body is not healthy to lose the weight, it's not going to give it up until we find your underlying hidden healing opportunities and address them. And sometimes it can take longer than 6 months. Sometimes it could take a year. And if you have to reverse a dysfunction in the body and need to reduce the insulin load in your body so you don't have prediabetes or diabetes, or you need to correct your brain health, all of that starts with diet, but then it also still goes back to digestion. If you are not digesting your food, you could have problems with small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, IBS downstream. You could have constipation, diarrhea, and not know why. That bacterial overgrowth, and it's not just the symptoms of gas, bloating, Gerd, and pain, but it's joint pain, it's brain health, it's depression. We need to discover everything, reset the gut, rebuild the gut, re-inoculate your gut. And these are not things that the standard normal person will understand unless you study it and practice it. And that's why this is such a powerful process. So when we discover everything that's going on in your body, then we can address it so that we can get you healthy to lose the weight. And so that's what this process is. It helps you uncover your weight loss blocks. So if your digestion is off and you have the H. pylori in your stomach, if you have any rosacea, you could, and constipation, those are some symptoms of SIBO. SIBO is a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And then if you're having histamine reactions and food sensitivities and gut dysfunction and you're not digesting your food, you want to be able to see what's going on in your gut. Is it functioning? Is your poop good? You need to do a poop check every day to see what's going on. If it's not right, something's wrong. We need to fix it. I liked this one thing that said, got to hit the reset button. It was kind of funny. I liked this little saying. Digestion is more than just the symptoms. It's your whole body health. And it's so important. Let me tell you the story about when I was driving up to the Rocky Mountain National Park. This is one of the blogs on my website. You can go check it out. And I was listening to a podcast with Dave Asprey because he's been one of my universities for learning things and to be empowered and to hang out with people who are like-minded and determined to be biohackers, to correct the health, to live life as a health hobby, and to look at health as your wealth. And so when I hang out with these people, I am learning and I'm being empowered and I'm building my conviction and my certainty so that I can support myself. And through this whole process, I've built my program, my weight loss and diabetes solution, around everything I've learned, because it's become such a powerful process to help women over 50 specifically. That is my mission, my pain to purpose, to my promise, to help women solve their problems and get their life back on track so you could feel beautiful in your body again. So as I was driving to the Rocky Mountain National Parks to meet up with my mom, she was going to drive down from Wyoming. I'm driving up from California, and I'm listening to this podcast, and it's talking about the digestive enzymes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such good information. I wanted that stuff so bad. And one of the digestive enzymes was K-Pux by Bioptimizers. But they also had a product called P3OM. P3OM is their proteolytic enzyme, and they also had masszymes. And when I got home, I took all of these products and I did a deep dive and a gut cleanse. And along with my other things that I've already accomplished and the weight loss that I've already started and the brain health that I've already developed, I dropped another 15 pounds over the next 3 months, I think it was. And it just kept going down. I mean, I was like, oh my God, I'm still losing weight. And so it can be a powerful process when you dial that in. You got to break the biofilms in the gut. You got to release all the crud that's stuck to the lining of your intestinal tract, and you can't actually get your gut to function, and you're stuck with your weight loss because there's something in the way. And so we want to clean up the gut. We want to reset the gut. We want to get everything out of there so that you can actually have a working gut that's going to give you 15 pounds of weight loss, like it did me. We don't know where you are. I don't know where you are. That's why I have I have an hour to an hour and 15-minute call with all of my clients as a health adventure strategy call to potential clients to see where you are, see what your health concerns are, what's going on in your body, and to tell you more about how I could support you and what you can look at as a solution, a weight loss solution, because this is not a diet. This is where you're going to get your mindset shifts. This is where you're going to reset your body and your vitality, your homeostasis, to turn off the pain of inflammation and to stop that inflammation from breaking down your joint cartilage, from making pain in your body, making you feel like you can't get out of the house, and then you're depressed and you don't want to do anything. When you get your gut fixed and your digestion tuned in, your brain will turn back on. You will have more energy to get outside and get sunlight, turn off that inflammation. And when you turn off the inflammation and you get your body working and your gut is digesting, you actually can get more active and be more positive on everything that you're doing every day so that you go out and do what you want to do. And you can rebuild the body you want to be beautiful. And I don't know where that's going to be. You don't know where that's going to be, but take out that magic wand and wave it in front of your face and you say, I want this. If you want this, as your practitioner, I will guide you there and get you there, and I will hold your hand. I am your practitioner in your back pocket. I am an FDN in your back pocket, and I give radical accountability and massive support because I want you to succeed. A lot of people only give 45 minutes to an hour of time every 2 weeks. I give you an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, and I check in every week. I check in via cell phone. And if we're not having a big call, we're having 30-minute check-ins. So I'm going to check to see what you're doing. And you get to troubleshoot things. This is accountability. I have a client that pays me $499 every 3 months just for a little bit of accountability because it matters to her. And she's 80 years old, and she wants to make sure that she's getting the accountability she needs. And that's huge. And that's where she is in her maintenance. And that's how I support her. And so when you get your digestion tuned in, then you can actually create B12 in your intestinal tract or in your gut. And you can create the B12, the glutathione. You can create glutathione to detoxify your body. Because when you get glutathione, that's your whole body detoxification process. If you don't get glutathione, if you're not detoxifying, your body's turned on for cancer. Did you know that? If you're not methylating and your hormone test shows that you do not methylate, I can guarantee you that your DNA damage is going to be showing on that test, and it's going to correlate with your gut test because I just had one that did that. It's correlating with both tests, and it's showing high glucuronidase because that detoxification is not happening. And when you don't have the fat and the protein digesting and working for you, then you are not detoxifying. And your brain is not going to function the way you want it to. And if you're over 50 and you're not getting fat and protein for your brain, where's your brain going? Is it doing what you want it to do? Are you able to focus? Are you catabolic? Is your body breaking down? Is your brain breaking down? If you don't have good brain health, then what is the purpose of life if our body's not working and we feel depressed? Why would we want to keep living past 60? That's why so many people are unhappy and unhealthy. You know, we do not have to lose our life in our 60s. But I see so many people not making it in their 60s. It's young. I'm 61. Do I look old? I don't feel old. But why should we not be able to live into our 70s, 80s, and 90s with good health? And the reason we can't is we're not digesting our food. We are not absorbing our food, and there are interferences causing that problem. Low bile acid, low stomach acid, H. pylori in your gut, parasites in the gut. We need to check to see what's going on. Test, don't guess, to find out what's going on in your body. Correct it this year. not guess and spend 20 years trying to figure this out. But maybe your health declines before you even fix it. And so what if you could run 5 diagnostic labs this year in a month, and within 2 months you find out exactly what you need to do to eradicate all of this and to fix it, so that by the end of this year, not only are you down 20 pounds, wave that magic wand, ladies, you are down 20 pounds. If your body is functioning, you can lose the weight. And if you do 100% implementation of everything that I suggest and guide you towards, there's no reason why you can't get 20 pounds of weight loss or more. I'm only going to say 20 because that's the reset button. And so when you reset your gut and you reset your digestion and you reset your body, miracles can happen. And so when we flip the sugar switch off, then we have the power to flip on or flip off that disease-causing switch in your body, your metabolic switch. When you flip that off, you are then practicing epigenetics and expressing your DNA in a healthy way by working with your environment and your food environment to actually give your body health. That's why my skin looks good. That's why I have hair at 61. I didn't lose any hair in menopause. Pretty excited about that. I keep everything clean. And it's a learning process, not something that you should do in a day, but it is something when you hang out with me for 6 months to a year that you learn. And when you hang out here with me here on these Instagram labs and on YouTube, you get the support that you need. And so another thing I wanted to bring back up is my Facebook group. I just started a new Facebook group, so I wanted to invite you all there. So I got a couple of things happening this week, and I've got my workshop tomorrow. And in the stories is the link to sign up, or DM me and let me know and give me your email, and I'll send you the Zoom link. Now, this is on gluten-free living because that is the first major step that you need to do to actually get into a holistic low-carb diet and method to get your health back on track. Yes, it can be scary. Food is addictive. It makes your brain feel good. But what if you could feel even better when you take it away? Because it only makes you feel good in the moment. Let me tell you about another client. Took all those foods out of her diet. Had to lie down after eating. You couldn't walk. Wow. I mean, this is happening to not just one person. This happens to many people. Do you have Gerd after eating? Do you have digestive function? Is your gut hurting? Are you exhausted? Are you tired with no energy? When you take that wheat and the gluten out of your diet, all of this is gone. Gone. It's all gone. And that's what they don't tell you. And so I'm trying to put this out in simple terms and show you what my clients are getting to, because this is where you get to wave that magic wand and make that choice as health as your wealth and get into a health adventure lifestyle so that you could turn your vitality back on and feel amazing in your body, feel glorious. Aging beautifully and adventurously for the rest of your life that you have is a right that we should have. And that's my mission as a woman, to get this point across. That's why I'm on doing this live at 6 o'clock at night on a Wednesday or Tuesday, because I feel like I was ready. Should I wait till tomorrow? Am I going to do this today? But I wanted to do this today because I've got my workshop tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, gluten-free living. But what this is, it is your beginning of 5 pounds of weight loss for May. How would you like to wear your slender clothes in the closet? Bring out those skimpier clothes and just feel good. When you start to lose even 5 pounds, you're not just 5 pounds. It could be an inch of weight loss, but what it is less bloating. It makes your brain turn back on. You feel better, more vibrant, and more beautiful because you start to lose the visceral fat around your neck and your face. Have you ever seen people who just look puffy? That's visceral fat. And you can turn all of that off and get rid of it and clean it all up and just feel beautiful and look beautiful. Wherever you are in your weight, you can feel beautiful. You can wake up in the morning and feel more slender. Take a look at my recent reel that I just posted today. Wait till the end of it. There's a special there. And I feel amazing and beautiful, and I'm wearing a gorgeous dress I'm going to be wearing to a wedding. This was a huge accomplishment for me. Take a look at that. Oh my God, I'm going to cry because that dress is huge. And if you're watching this from YouTube, just stop over, just DM me and I could send you the link to that video for my reel where I am wearing that dress and I am spinning around. This dress actually fits. I zipped it up and I look amazing. I feel amazing too. And my arms actually look good. And I'm looking more and more muscular because I know the trick to that. I'm getting the right amount of protein. And if I don't, I'm taking the right amount of amino acids in the right type strategically. And so when you eat strategically, time resisted eating, you don't even need to do as much intermittent fasting if you're getting the right amount of protein in your body. So it's not about restriction, but opportunity of what you can do. So when you come to this workshop tomorrow, you get me, bring your questions. I will work with you one-on-one and answer your questions, and I will include that in the workshop. And bring your notebook and your pen and come and join me. There's no hard sells. Come and hang out with me. And it is going to help you drop 5 pounds by the end of May if you follow my suggestions, because it's huge. And this is where you need to start. And whether or not you join me in my 6-month signature program, just start the gluten-free. Start reducing the sugars in your diet, because if you could get your carbs under 100, and just go down to fruit, maybe even a date if you have to have it, but bring in the allulose. Did you know that the studies on allulose are showing that you can increase GLP-1 from allulose to stop your appetite? And you could bring in berberine. You could bring in berberine to help with your blood sugar. And you can bring in PGX to help turn off that hunger signals. You could make a flax and chia pudding and put in the allulose and the PGX. And take the berberine all at once, and you could shoot this down and eat it for dinner, and you will be feeling amazing. Since you've stayed with me this long, I'm going to tell you another trick. When you do that, you bring in the perfect aminos, and you take 5 perfect aminos with that, and you can actually do a fast, a protein fast, and you're just getting basically a sugar that doesn't raise your insulin levels from the allulose, which lowers your GLP-1. You're getting all of those fibers. You fix it in coconut milk with a little added fat. You have that with your perfect aminos, 5 of them, 5 perfect aminos for 30 grams of protein. You're building muscle, you're turning off your appetite, and you're going to sleep amazing. And you're not going to feel hungry to snack. And then if you throw in a little bit of salt, a little bit of salt soleil, I could bring that up tomorrow. So if you come to my workshop tomorrow, I could talk about salt soleil. So make sure you ask me so I don't forget. There are so many things that you can do to hack your biology, to look at health as a hobby, to increase your wealth as your health by living a life as a health adventure. I didn't invent these things. I just understand them with certainty and conviction, and that this is my lived experience of I do all of this. I walk the walk, I do the talk. All of this is my lifestyle that I'm actually putting out there for you so that you can get down to 128 pounds like me. I actually got down to 124, and I am metabolizing this, but I'm also gaining muscle. So for me, it's not about the weight scale to get down to 124. I use it as a tool to make sure that my weight doesn't get too high. So what I am doing is making sure I get the right amount of protein, because I'm a woman over 50. And I don't want to have sarcopenia, which is muscle loss. I don't want to have a brain dysfunction or heart problems. And so I also take bioidentical hormones to help support my health. And so I am actually building muscle at 61, and I'm not losing my hair. And so all of these things are super important. And guess what? They start with digestion. If you do not digest your fat and your protein, nothing is going to work inside your body. Nothing. You have to find out if you have H. pylori. I will help you discover that. And if my 6-month program doesn't work, let's do a 3-month program. I just want you to get the results that you need to have. So let's get you started. And get that digestion functioning. If you have IBS, if you have SIBO, if you have anything going on in your gut, if you feel something when you eat, and you feel anything downstream of having something in your stomach and having to eat food, there's something wrong in your body. Something wrong with your digestion. You should not have any pain. If you have pain, your body's trying to talk to you, and you need to discover what it is. Like when I get a little bit of mucus, it's usually right after I eat, and I'm trying to troubleshoot what I eat. I've been very good. I didn't have any dairy for 24 hours, and so it wasn't that. And so, I might have a little bit of my food sensitivity. I'm not always sure which one it is, but today I did have a little bit of cocoa, and I am cocoa sensitive, but I did take cocoa out for 6 months to a year before I brought it back in. So that's part of the process. When you have a food sensitivity, it's not always forever, but you can bring it in occasionally. And basically you want to heal and seal the gut. And so it's about, resetting your body, resetting your gut, rebuilding it, and we're going to re-inoculate it, and we're going to get you healthy to lose the weight. And so this is your 20 pounds of weight loss that you can have by Christmas, ladies. You get to find out what's going in your body now, and I'm going to help you patch you back together and get you back up on that wall like Humpty Dumpty so that we can get you healthy again. So looking vibrant and fine-tune your health, because this is your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, your 90s. You can dance into your 90s upright and walking if you fix your body now. Now, there may be damage that can't be repaired that needs surgery. I don't know. But why not give your body a chance? We could bring in the collagen. We could bring in that. But if you don't stop the sugar, you can't stop the pain and the inflammation from breaking down your cartilage. We need to fix the digestion so that you can absorb your fat-soluble nutrients, because that is your currency in your body. And if that's not working, if your gallbladder's not functioning, then we need to know. And you can still do this plan, my Holistic Low Carb Method, without a gallbladder. It's just more complicated, but there's supplements that you need to support that. And so you need to know what they are. And it's all about the digestion. We need to fix your digestion. And we need to get you to absorb your nutrients. We need to make sure you don't have SIBO. We need to support your bacteria, correct your underlying downstream problems with gut dysbiosis. All of this is fixable. Our body is amazing. We can fix and heal our gut. I did it. I used to be 225 pounds. I'm 129. I lost 100 pounds. I'm keeping off over 95 pounds. And so this is a win. If you can lose the weight and keep it off and continue to lose the weight as you go, that is a win. I was just telling my client, she said she lost some weight before starting with me. And I was checking in to see where her weight is. And she says, all total, she's lost 46 pounds. I said, well, that is a win. You are keeping 46 pounds off, and we're adding to that. And by May, she's going to be down into her 150s, 159 and down. She hadn't been there in a really long time, but she's going there. And I had just finished up with Janina, and she got almost 60 pounds of weight loss, and she's getting married next month. And we can all do this. You can actually put your diabetes into remission. And now I'm going to use the word reversed, because it can happen. It does happen all the time. Dr. Jason Fung is doing this. So many functional medicine practitioners are doing this. And a lot of these functional medicine practitioners started as MDs and still are MDs. But they know that it was through the gut health that needed to happen to get the health that they needed to have. And it's true. But upstream from that is digestion. And so poor digestion is going to block those weight loss blocks. Going to block your weight loss as a woman over 50. All ages, because they even start when you're young. So many people have this problem when they're children because of food sensitivities and wheat intolerances, but also because of H. pylori and bacteria, parasites. And so all of this has to be corrected. And you don't even know what it is that you've been struggling with. And there's been people who struggle with depression their whole life. And then when they get into a low carb diet, that depression can be gone. It could be minimized to the point where it's not bothering you anymore. How would you like to get your life back? That's my promise to you. This is my mission. I am doing this and giving you this information because it empowers me to be a better person and to be more excited. I'm so excited to come onto these lives with you. You guys give me so much energy when I'm here, because I get to talk to you and get all of this out of my heart and my mind and give it to you as a gift. And so I wrote down very little of this. I wanted to come out here and tell you what benefits my clients are getting and what problems they have. They're having bile malabsorption, no bile to digest their protein and their fat, or fat malabsorption. So there's the two things going on. And you know what's happening? Beta-glucuronidase is sky high and not detoxifying. And these are things that are going to cause more buildup in your DNA of cancer. And so that's why we have to detoxify. But if you're not getting glutathione in your B12, you're getting neurological damage without the B12. And then without the glutathione, you're getting DNA damage. If your glutathione can't detoxify things, then your body can't methylate, then we're having problems. And so all of this will show in these tests. And I'm so excited to be able to share this with you, to let you know these are options that your doctors don't run. And wish they could, because, if you're on bioidenticals and they're not checking for your methylation, that hormones that you're taking are building up, causing problems. They're not detoxifying. So that's the problem with taking estrogen and hormones. Are you detoxifying them? If you're not methylating, if you're not getting your fat and protein digested, you cannot absorb what you need to absorb to detoxify, to excrete the problem that you'll have. And that's the big problem. And so if you don't want to have disease, you don't have to have it. You can turn it off. I did. I had a sister that died of over 400 pounds. Breaks my heart. But she, barely made it to 65. She should have been young, but she was sick for over a decade, longer, 2 decades. I lost my 30s and 40s to obesity. And so I had a reason. I wanted to not be like that. I wanted to live life. And I'm doing that now in my 60s. But I had to give up the wheat and the sugar. And, I'm grateful to have gotten the information that I needed from books and other people who have already lived the life, had that life experience that I could follow, so that I understood what I needed to do. And I just stepped forward and stepped into it. And I'm like, oh my God. My brain turned back on. My eyes started working. My hair started growing back in, and I dropped 20 pounds. I felt amazing. But then I stalled out. And so I like to say, don't worry about being on a weight loss plateau. Just be grateful that you're not gaining the weight back. And then you troubleshoot from there. What can you do next? So maybe it's digestion is next. You got to do that gut cleanse. You got to get that digestion working. It could be another 15 pounds. And then it's circadian balance and stress, and you got to get that dialed in. And these are all the things that I educate you on and empower you on, because that's the next step. I lost 20 pounds, dialing in my stress, my protein, my circadian balance, taking up my food sensitivities. That was 20 pounds. And so this can come in stages. And we just don't know what we need to do. So when you work with me, I help you dial in all the information, and we work on it incrementally, and you get started. And so you might need to work longer with me, but then you get a discount. And so that's okay too. And so the more dysfunction you'll have, the more you might want to really think, I really need to fix my body so I can have a retirement. One of my clients says her husband said that's the best money he ever spent. And you know what? It's working for both of them because they're both benefiting. I got them both on supplements. And then also, she told me they're retiring this summer and they're going to get an RV. And you know what? She can actually have a body that's working and go out and enjoy life. This is health freedom, freedom in retirement. I know I say a lot of terms like this, like health adventure, but this is my health adventure lifestyle that I am living. I am aging beautifully and aging adventurously. My company is called Lori Blue Aging Adventurously. And this is the Holistic Low Carb Method. And this is where you can have your weight loss and diabetes solution, because that's what it is. Because when you dial in your weight loss solution and find all your hidden healing opportunities within the 5 diagnostic labs, these are your weight loss blocks, and we're going to fix that to turn off your disease-causing genes in your body so you don't have to have diabetes. Did you know that? Don't accept it. I'm here to tell you don't have to do it. I don't have it, and it runs in my family. And so we cannot use the excuse that it runs in my family. It does not run in a family. We are a human species. We are a huge family. And everybody who doesn't eat within their species diet is noticing problems. Even heard of some, the more these indigenous cultures are getting more processed food and eating more grains, they're noticing that they're getting more sick. And they're like, we need to get back to our cultural lifestyle. And it's huge. And they're noticing it even from grains. They just don't feel good. And this goes back in history. A lot of people like to bring up the fact that we used to eat grains. We eat wheat before, but standard American wheat is pretty much toxic. You spray it down with glyphosate poisoning. That Roundup you put in your yard. They spray that on your food, and it gets in your oatmeal, and it gets on your wheat, and it's contaminating our whole world and our water system. So if you're not on the BEAM minerals, you want to use that to bind up the glyphosate that's getting into your body, because that's huge. It kills off your good bacteria. It causes damage in your gut. And if you follow Dr. Stephanie's Senef, she does the deep dive on glyphosate poisoning for our body, and she'll tell you it can cause cardiovascular risk just from that alone. So when you don't absorb your minerals, when you're getting all of that dysfunction, it's all happening. And so I cannot give it all to you in a live, but I do a really good job in my 6-month program. That's why I really have a 6-month program, because I cannot educate you in 3 months. I can give you the labs and I can get you started, and it's a start, but I can't give you all the education you need unless you do my 6-month program. But you're worth it. This is an investment. I am not the most expensive person out there. I give a huge amount of time. You get me in your back pocket, and you get radical accountability, and you get personalized, customized support towards the protocol that you need for yourself, and ongoing 25% off supplementation from Full Script, which is our practitioner account. And I am going to tell you about my new Facebook group. I am going to probably get back on there tonight, right after this, and do some invites. But basically, it is called the Holistic Low Carb Weight Loss and Diabetes Solution for Women Over 50. It is private, so you need to actually request to join. And so go ahead and do that if you want to hang out with me. I'm going to be doing a lot more podcasts. I got a public relations lady helping me out with this, and starting a new summit as well for May. So stay tuned for that. I've already done my interview for that. And there's going to be so many more good information and speakers on the summit too. So that's going to be exciting. So I'm going to be putting all of this into my Facebook group. And so I want everybody to know that this is a place for you to come and hang out as a woman. You don't have to be 50. You could be 45. You can be coming on menopause. You could be menopause early. And if you just want the information so that you can weather menopause more readily, that's an option too. You don't have to suffer. One of my new clients is not even 50 yet. She's turning 50. And you know what she gifted to herself for her 50s? And she's paying for this every 2 weeks because this is her priority, is to have health and fit over 50, to turn off her disease-causing genes in her body, to lose the weight and reset it so she can have an amazing life. And this is her gift to her for her 50th birthday. It's so empowering to hear a woman want to take control and to fine tune it, because you know what? People come to me to look for the next solution, to look for the solution because they're stuck and their weight loss isn't coming off and they don't know what else to do. And so I am your health detective, FDN, and I will help you find your hidden healing opportunities and your weight loss blocks. We will get you there so that you could get the health that you want, and you just get to choose it. So wave that magic wand in front of your face and choose to have this gifted to yourself. Get that dream and that goal. You can have it. If you want it, it's my promise. I will take you there. This is me. This is what I do. This is my life, my passion. And come join my Facebook group, Holistic Low Carb Weight Loss and Diabetes Solution is the name of it, for women over 50. And tomorrow's my workshop, 5 p.m. Pacific. DM me if you want the Zoom link or sign up. Either one's going to work. You could just DM me and I'll just give me your email and I'll send you that Zoom link. Get your questions ready. If you bring all the questions, if you're the only person there, you will get a private workshop. But I'm here to help you, because I didn't have this hope when I was in my 30s, in my mid-30s, when I had PCOS, when I had asthma, when I had allergies, when I was depressed and miserable and hating myself because I was overweight and unhappy and I couldn't live the life that I wanted. I lost my 30s and 40s to that. And my then husband said, when are you going to lose the weight? Well, it took me 25 years. We were since divorced. He left me last year. But you know what? I'm empowered. I'm a woman. We're all women. We are women. Hear us roar. And together, we can put this message out there and let women know that they could fix their digestion, fix their body, get their beauty back, and just discover what they need to do. It's just 5 labs. You pay for 3, I pay for 2. And this is your investment and your retirement, and the second half of your life. You get to reclaim the second half of your life for your wealth. This is more important. Money is a resource. I can't let it be free because this is what's helping me pay my mortgage. But it's helping me get out there and get this message out to women, because it's not right that 88% of the population is sick and overweight. Or 50% of the population overweight, but 88% of the population is sick and unhealthy? That's just wrong. Come join the 12%. Or be the 3% of the people who are actually choosing it. You know, last year, for my 60th birthday, I celebrated walking across the Grand Canyon for 24 miles. It was amazing. That was my birthday celebration for 60. I walked across the Grand Canyon rim to rim. Was it easy? I had a grand time. It was hard on my body. At 20 miles, my knees hurt and I had to take ibuprofen. But you know what? I never stopped. I kept going. I didn't pause very much because I had a timeline. We started at just before 5 and we had to be across the canyon by 7, and I didn't quite make it. It was 7:15 by the time I got there and it was already dark. But I think I did pretty good. I didn't pause it too much. I had the energy that I needed to get across that canyon, and I'd do it again. And so when we actually choose a health adventure, this is what it does for you. You grow your brain, you grow your hippocampus, you actually create muscle in your body, and you actually create the desire to get out there and to be slender and to keep working and to keep looking for your solutions. So if you're looking for your weight loss and diabetes solution and you don't know where to turn, it's here. It's here. Come join me on my Facebook group, Holistic Low Carb Weight Loss and Diabetes Solution for Women Over 50. Come join and find out more about it. And I'm just going to be excited to be able to keep everything there so that you can have it all at your fingertips, but also we can build a community as women. Women hear us roar. We are strong, we are inspirational, and we need to be together as a tribe of women over 50 to support each other, because we need help as a tribe. We are not supposed to be alone. We need to be with other people, and we are all alone in our houses. We can get out through Zoom, and that's okay too. And if you have a friend, get out there for a walk. We need that connection. We need the oxytocin. We need that sunlight. Sunlight is a huge healer for our body. If we do not get sunlight and we don't get it in our eyes, we're going to have other health problems. Did you know your mitochondria have light receptors? When you put sunlight in your eyes in the morning, you light up your mitochondria. They're your energy production. And when you get more mitochondria and make strong ones from eating the right type of diet and doing time-restricted eating, you create more stronger mitochondria too. And did you know that they've noticed that with Alzheimer's, you don't have the mitochondria in your brain that as you should? Because think of the mitochondria like Pac-Man. They're going to get in there and they clean up all the plaques and tangles to create a healthier brain. If you don't have mitochondria, you can have heart health. We have to have mitochondria and we have to take care of them. So we want to eat a metabolically rich diet for our body. We want to be able to create a mitochondria-rich lifestyle. All of these things happen, and it goes back again to digestion. What you put in your body, food is information to your body, digesting and breaking down your food with the right amount of stomach acid and digestive enzymes, and then also making sure you're absorbing your fat and your protein so you'll have better liver health, better gallbladder health, better brain health, better intestinal tract. And this is not about having surgeries. This is not about getting shots to turn off your appetite. You could turn up your appetite again. If you weren't here earlier, there's a pudding recipe, flax, chia, hemp, PGX. Take some berberine with that and some perfect aminos and use that for a meal replacement or in the evening. And that's going to turn off your appetite so you don't eat after dark. Because if you eat after dark, what you're doing is stalling your digestion, creating Gerd, raising your insulin levels, stopping digestion. You cannot digest your food after dark. Your body will stop. Your body organs are on a clock rhythm, a circadian clock rhythm. Every organ in your body is on a clock rhythm. And if you eat after dark, when your digestion has stalled, you will have more symptoms of Gerd. You will store that as body fat. You'll raise your insulin levels and higher, have cortisol levels, and have trouble sleeping. And so we want to eat earlier in the day and digest our food and get it working for us. Okay? I know this is a lot. There's a lot that we could break down into this, but just know that you don't have to suffer with Gerd. You don't have to have gas and bloating. You could stop all of those pains. We can correct digestion, and we could correct a lot of the downstream problems. And if you've got any brain depression, that could be gut related. Most of it's gut related. If you follow Dr. Chris Palmer, psychiatrist, he's a psychiatrist trained, he's a Harvard trained psychiatrist, medical doctor. He's on a keto diet. He puts a lot of his patients on a keto diet. And he is noticing that he is reducing he's reducing depression and schizophrenia and other problems of the brain. Because you know what he said? This is insulin resistant. And it's not that it runs in your family. It's because of the culture in the food environment. And if you have insulin resistance, and we as a species, If we have too much sugar load in the body, which is your carbohydrates break down to glucose in your body, and you have a sugar load in your blood, and your pancreas has to work overtime to shoot out insulin. When that is happening, you're insulin resistant because it's happening all the time. You're not metabolically active where you could turn that switch on and off. So if it's on all the time, you're set up for disease. So we want to flip that switch off. Get into the Holistic Low Carb Method, run the labs, find out what's going on, and correct your body now, this year. Drop the 20 pounds, wave that magic wand. It's yours. It's my promise. All right, you guys, let me know if you'd like to come to that workshop tomorrow. Hang out with me some more, and I will tell you why gluten-free is going to work for you so you could start losing 5 pounds in May and getting into your smaller clothes. It's worth it. Believe me, I wake up every morning and I feel slender in my body. I got my skinny jeans on. I've got petite size 8s. And I feel beautiful. You know, I put on this slinky red dress the other day and I just feel gorgeous. You can too. You don't have to give up feeling amazing and in your 50s and 60s. You could still have vitality. Okay? You just have to want it. So let me know if you'd like to set up a health adventure strategy call. It's a 70-minute call. And let me know what's going on in your body. Come to my workshop and come join my Facebook group. Again, it's the Holistic Low Carb Weight Loss and Diabetes Solution for Women over 50. See you there. Take care. Bye.